Garry is saying, hey, if you play e5 against me, we ain't playing Berlins, we're playing Scotch.
But Nakamura, the first to do something a little different and play the line with Bishop. Yeah, play the line with Bishop c5 instead of the Knight c6 line.
That's how Garry is. He's so principled. He'll say, yes, you can aim at me all you want. Well, first of all, how are you going to react just in the one day we're playing right now? So he's decided to go right into a line that he prepared for a World Championship match, and he said, prove it. Prove it. I'm going to come in with a few wrinkles, prove that you can equalize against me, and look at this. He's getting an edge on the clock at the very beginning, just about every game.
And by the way, again, I mean, Garry retired in 2005, but he's still showing that his World Championship match experience and his preparation, he believes in it.
Well, he's also very involved in chess. Don't forget about the Rising Stars program, where he works with all the talented players in America, the most talented young players, partnering with the St. Louis Chess Club. So he's keeping sharp.
Yeah, but teaching and playing are two different things, as you very well know. I mean, you do lose your edge when you go into coaching motif.
Well, I don't think he's coming to this match cold. I think he's had some blitz matches.
Oh, he's training. He told me he lost weight. He was looking forward to this exhibition match for quite some time.
By the way, both of these players lost the last round and have to clear their heads. Somebody could lose again and go 2 down in a row. So they definitely are trying to get their brains fresh. And that's hard to do every round when you only have a couple of minutes to do so after a tough loss.
Well, Garry's been known to do that in...
And by the way, I just want to, quickly point out, there is a trap. I'm not sure if I know it very well. There is a trap that if you go knight g4, there's some ideas of knight b5 and knight c7, but there's bishop, you know what I'm saying. There's like a double, there's a lot of trickies. So just keep that in mind, that
here we could probably,
that knight g4, and Hikaru taking some time and has played knight g4. So he's basically saying, I'm going to take this bishop if you're not careful. And from Garry's point of view, Garry doesn't want to necessarily retreat the bishop, would love to trade it. I'm just looking at this move, knight b5 for a second. So what am I missing?
So if we play knight...
You got to play bishop takes e3, right?
Right, so if we play bishop e3 and you play knight c7...
Yes.
Oh, you were going to play pawn takes e3?
No, I was just going to say,
and then
you're
king
right.
d8,
And if I recapture, there's this unfortunate move, queen e5, with the double threat. You got checkmate down here.
Queen h6 also.
Guys, I'm stunned you were able to do all that analysis, and Garry hasn't moved yet.
Yeah, I know, right?
3:38, it's a blitz game, it's right out of the opening, and he has spent all that time giving Nakamura a time edge, which is not something you want to do in what is just simply a basic opening position. And Kasparov, it's hard to believe he's taking this much time. If we could switch over to the other game just for a quick second, we have pretty much a boring position.
I'm really curious to see, how did he handle knight g4, by the way? Bishop e3,
knight g4 never happened. He just...
Oh, it never happened. He just castled, and he allowed white to have a very powerful pawn on e4 now. And I do like Garry Kasparov's position.
Yeah, but Garry's playing so slowly. He's only had 2 minutes. You know, and his time is ticking even faster than that, actually. He's got 2:06.
A minute and a half, that's right.
He's at 2:06 on the clock. Nakamura with lots of time. They're just in the opening. Why did he spend so long? He's going to have to play a whole middle game, potentially an entire end game, and defeat Nakamura. That use of the clock was not great for him. He did not play knight c2. He played queen d2 in that position. Queen to d2 has been played. And
definitely time mismanagement on the part of Garry Kasparov, Maurice.
Yes, definitely. And in the meantime, Naka again, looking at that queen on the king side. Is this queen going to end up trapped on h5 again? That queen is all it takes these journeys. Nakamura's queen sitting on f6. The threat of bishop to g5 is not a pure threat right now in the position. Surprising that Naka himself is deep in thought here. They're playing like... They got all day. You're not sitting in the Forest Park right now, guys. You've got to make moves. This is blitz chess, and these two players still haven't found their form.
Agreed. Just
agreed.
That is their blitz form.
Nakamura's been playing bullet like for the last 36 hours straight, is what I've heard.
And guess what? This is not 1 minute chess. This is five with 3 second delay.
That's
totally different animal. And there we go, knight a5. That, I was going to say, this bishop on b3 is just far too annoying.
Gotta go.
Gotta go.
And
gotta
the problem is that if you try to preserve it, with a move like bishop c2, then we get knight c4 into the game.
Knight
which
b5
is
on the
gonna be
board,
beautiful.
ignoring the threat. Knight b5, looking at that c7 pawn, strategical point here, leaving the position just as is. And this is just too interesting on move 14. I'm sorry. They've used more than half their time, and it's only move 14 in the game. Way too much time. And even Naka, the last two moves, how did he lose his minute and a half time advantage? He's now under the clock, under Garry's clock.
This is totally absurd. This is like when you're at a Foreman Blitz and like my brother is watching me and he's like, Jen, it's a Blitz game.
It's a Blitz
But you're
game.
just getting so wrapped up in the position. It's so interesting.
Well,
so you want to play good moves.
That's exactly what Maurice is saying. It's such an interesting game. The reason why the players are taking 6.5 minutes out of their 10, because that's what
Unreal.
It is.
Naka's used 2 minutes for the last two moves.
Remarkable.
That's just unbelievable for it. But guess what? He is Hikaru Nakamura. He is a bullet player. He will blitz out 40 moves in a minute. I mean, the guy is that quick. So we'll see. But will they be good moves as he is now being pressured by Kasparov?
And by the way, Garry preserved his bishop with the move bishop c2,
right,
a6, kicking back the knight. Knight quickly jumped back to d4, covering the f5 square, and c5. A very, very big strategical move. Look at that! Look at that outpost on d5. It's just begging for the white knight to show up.
That's right.
D5.
Very tricky position.
But now
Pawn on B2
Nakamura getting a strong piece of his own. Knight c4 forcing the queen back to c1, and Garry has played that.
Exactly.
But how does Nakamura continue to make use of that knight on c4? Because b3 could be played next.
Well, indeed, f5 is almost you got to play f5.
Play the Kasparov like move versus Kasparov.
Exactly.
F5 on the board.
Otherwise, knight f4, knight d5 is a strategic hammer lock.
With b3 chasing the knight, followed by bringing the queen back into the game would be natural. Both sides are basically at a minute and a half in this very dynamic position.
Ooh.
Crazy chess at work right now in this game.
Knight back to b6. The f-pawn still can't be touched because of the knight hanging on e2.
Exactly.
And very quickly, while he pushes his pawn, if we could just jump to the other position, this one is on. And this has to be a bit better for white right now.
Absolutely. I mean, that move c7, c5 was a big strategic decision. I don't know if Hikaru judged it correctly, but at the moment, this knight on b6 a little bit out of play, and this knight on e4 is a monster.
Well, he did his best, but he probably missed the knight c4, queen c1, f5, that he wasn't getting quite as much play as he desired.
Yeah, it's very easy to slip there, Jen, in that position.
Too late for that now. Garry with 111, Hikaru with 52 seconds and counting down. And what to do? He has to play d5, it looks like.
Otherwise, knight c3, keeping that pawn backward on d6, and don't let a4, a5 show up on the board. Because
and d5 might have been met by knight c3, actually. I'm not sure that he's not losing a pawn in that position. He has to back up.
So he just played queen f8 instead, and where is he trying to get counterplay here, guys?
I'm not sure.
D5 has to be his thought.
Knight takes d6. Let me.
And knight g5 has been played.
Knight g5 instead, with the trying to get yourself into that e6 square.
And that move is really the move that the Indians like. Knight takes d6 was a little bit tricky, but this move, knight to g5, and positional chess, controlling the game. Nakamura down to 24 seconds.
Unbelievable.
Kasparov with more than twice as much time. Now a trade and an offer for another trade.
D6 in that position, no?
No, this is a beautiful.
Queen a1 is hanging. A1's hanging, so you have to start with rook e1.
And it's a back rank mate.
Queen g5, queen e8 is mate.
That knight on b6 is the problem, and only 14 seconds left for Nakamura against 58 seconds by Kasparov. Kasparov way ahead on the clock.
And knight d7,
he feels it.
But don't we have queen e8 check, and then after knight f8, knight e6? No, there's a mate still hanging.
There's a mate still hanging.
So we need to make look. So with h4.
No, start with queen e8 check, knight f8, what you were saying,
H4.
and then h3 or h4, make your luft.
That looks
and that
good.
Knight on f8 is horrible.
And we're
there it is.
and
Played it. Check, knight back, and now he just needs to not hang mate on the back row. He sees it.
Why not h4? Just
I
was afraid of h6, and the knight would be forced to read. So h3. And knight f7 check, big threat in the position.
And he's chased
King
out,
G8.
and now queen
But look
up.
at knight e4, guys.
Knight e4
Garry
played.
Kasparov playing a masterpiece here.
No, the only problem is that there are some perpetuals against White's king.
And he's played queen e7. He doesn't believe him.
Queen e7, not caring about the ideas. He
No,
does
there's no
check,
and
then
look
queen
at
f4 check.
Hikaru.
And here he goes with his king. marching towards the center of the board.
There's
Is
no
it
perpetual.
There
No.
looks like there is no perpet. Queen B2, king up, and that's done. And
Exactly.
now H5.
And now
H5 trying to tickle
H5.
him with H4 at some point.
I don't
but-
believe it.
And
Knight
neither
takes
does
D6.
Garry.
Gary
Well,
says,
H4 has
show
happened.
me.
You can't take with the king. There's knight G6 in the position.
But queen takes H4.
Yes.
Queen takes
But
H4 is a
Queen takes
two-pawn.
H4 does it.
It's a
2 pawns
two-pawn
up. Garry
advantage.
Kasparov ahead by 2 pawns and 11 seconds on the clock in desperation by Naka now trying to keep things complicated.
And look at this beautiful centralizing move. Queen E4, Maurice.
Queen F6 being played. 1 second left for Hikaru. The times are not exactly
3 seconds.
accurate, but check. And now, because Gary's got it all under control. There's a mate threat, and no, there isn't. Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Move the knight. We're seeing the clock times 3 seconds, 11 seconds for Garry. A trade of queens. A trade of queens.
It's
Gary's
over.
up. It's over.
There we
Gary
go. Wow.
Kasparov against the favorite, the beast.
Look at Garry
Hikaru Nakamura.
flexing as he walked away.
He's saying, I can teach these youngsters a thing or two.